This is Sava, who is bigger than life. And Mihai, as you can see, Mihailo was 6'4".
Yeah.
Sava was 6'2". They were big boys. Sava was born 12 pounds. Mihai was born 11 pounds. Yes, thank you very much. And they were characters. They really were. They gave us a lot of memories in the short time that they were here. A lot of memories. This, I think, was the first time I ever heard of a selfie. Sava took me to a concert on Mother's Day. That's one of my favorite memories. I didn't know he was going to do that. Getting the mother-son dance was a very special moment for me as well, and that's with Mihai at his wedding. This is Sava's wedding. It was an amazing day because that's the girl I wanted. And this is their family picture. And Brianna was going to be 3 that year, and I just was so proud and enamored that he had his first family picture. This is Mihai's wedding picture with Kate. Everyone still talks about that wedding. It was the best wedding ever. They were quite the pair. I'm Joanne Basic.
Sava Basic. Growing up, Sava was all about, the hands-on work. He was hands-on mechanic, understood a lot of that kind of stuff. Mihai couldn't start the lawnmower. At one point, he got a little side job down the street. He was 12, 13, something like that. And it was to cut this yard. It was a model home, and the weeds had gotten really tall. Well, he takes the lawnmower down there, and he couldn't get the mower started.
Well, we sent Sava to check on him.
So we sent Sava to check on him, and he had, one of those sickle things on the wood handle, that you cut weeds down with. And he was like doing all kinds of golf swings and ninja stuff at it, and he was like making he was like doing theater. So, I mean, as they started to get older, you could identify their pretty distinct personality traits,
The girls that they chose, it couldn't have been better if I hadn't picked them myself. Those girls love those boys like a mother wants their children to be loved. One of the most amazing things was how much they did have while they were here. They had it all. They really did. And so did we. Sava and Megan were on their way to church. And on the way they came down Stewart right by Woolley, and over there, the wind comes across the cold road, and it was winter and didn't look icy, but black ice doesn't look icy. And the car flipped and Sava was thrown from the car. I think he was putting lotion on his hands and the ring was in his mouth. And of course, when the accident happened, the ring was gone. And so the boys had looked for it at the junkyard, at the location.
Yeah.
Everybody looked for it. 3 months later, after a ginormous snowstorm in 2011, I thought, well, I'm just going to walk the street and look and see if I find it. If I find it, great. If I don't, probably not, because this is crazy, but I'm going to do it because I can't not. So I went down one side of the road and didn't see anything, and I came down the other side almost to my car, and there was one of the little windows from a car, must have been their car. It was in the shape of the window, but just cracked and broken, and I looked down, and I figured it was going to be a bolt. I was going to pick it up and just throw it and be out of there, and I picked it up, and it was his ring. I had always wanted to feel God's presence, and I'm telling you what, he was standing right next to me that day because I needed to be the one to find that, obviously.
When she went to get the ring, when she went to look for it, what brought her from the north to the south on the east side of the road and then back up the other way? She could have very easily have gone to the other side of the road down that way first, where the light wouldn't have quite reflected in the same way, you know? And so when I think about it, it's like, it's not a reminder. It's just an in-your-face evidence that there is a God and he is directing our paths.
He decided that he needed to come home and be with family, and he gave up everything, and I asked him not to because it would be the last thing Sava wanted him to do, and then he did. He regretted it. But he came home, and then his injury came up because, you know, when you're that physically fit, everything's being held together. And then when you're not, the injury came and he needed back surgery. But by the time he got to it, he was in a bad way. When I think about it's been 10 years since I've spoken to my child, it's really hard. And now it's 3 for the other one. And I just think, how does someone do this? Lose both their children without faith, without somewhere to turn for help, you know, emotionally.
You know, I think, how do we know we're really happy? How do you know you're really cold? You know, you really don't have any reference to cold unless you know what hot is. So how can you know if you're happy unless you know what despair is? We've lost both of our sons. Can it drive you to despair? Does it? Yeah. But ultimately, you know, I find my joy in knowing that they're, you know, in the arms of a loving Father. When you have a certainty that your eternity is secure and that we know where our boys are, you know, and we know that someday we'll be there as well, what do you do to give thanks? How do you give thanks for that? How can you possibly repay that? There's no way.
We live a really great life for the life we've been dealt, and we'll be there someday, and they're okay till we get there. I find joy in the girls that are still in my life, the grandchildren, the guys from the police department, the soldiers that keep in touch with us, the people that show us how much they love them. And that's a huge blessing. Huge blessing. Some days are much harder than others, but we keep carrying on because that's what he wants us to do.